Are you going to do the same thing today you did yesterday and expect a different result? Change what you think, change what you do, and tomorrow will be different from today. You know why it's so simple for me? Because I have a lot of experience. You can only change your tomorrows by changing yourself today. Whoa. Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. The Power is Within podcast. Glad you could join us today. And we are talking about what women actually want. And I have my guest, Paulina, here, my daughter, who's 15 years old. And they all think about the same. Whether they're 15 or 50, women have the same kind of desires, and a lot of times what they say they desire is not really what they actually want. Although Paulina is very enlightened for her age and for a woman as far as that goes. But first, before we begin, check out my books on Amazon, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, and The Power is Within, both available on Amazon. I wrote those books to be helpful to people in their life. I share my life with people, and I've had a lot of adventures, and I shared it in a way that you can relate to it with your life and maybe some struggles you're going through, to know that as long as you get up and don't give up, you're going to get up eventually. Things are going to get up. Your life's going to get better. One more thing. I want to shout out to Affy Kingdom. Check him out on YouTube. And he has 21 books, I think, on Amazon. One or two of them are bestsellers. I am reading his book. I can never think of it. Conversation with Souls. I don't think that's either. Affy, I'm sorry. I was going to have it with me this time, but I don't. But anyway, check it out. It's his newest book on Amazon. It's great. It's very deep. You better have your hip waders on when you read this one. Also, check out Alpha Villains AV. He's a hard-working man on YouTube. He's got some really dynamite stuff. And also shout out to Dre, King Dre. I've been listening to some of his content, and he is right on the mark when it comes to women and how you can navigate the field of dating and the struggles and challenges you will have with dating modern women. All right? So we're going to begin today with what question? We'll start out with this. What do women actually want? Straight from the horse's mouth.
In a man, I think what a girl actually wants is a guy who will lead. Someone who can protect them, somebody who isn't scared to stand up for them when it comes down to a certain situation, like, I don't know, being smacked on the butt or something.
But aren't you a strong, independent woman?
I think a lot of girls out here...
Isn't that what you want to be? Don't you want to be a strong, independent career woman and go out there and shake men's hands like a man and stand up to them and gain that respect? Just, put your masculine
I think
suit
a
on.
lot of girls say that they're independent. They try to make themselves believe that they are independent because they don't want to go into a relationship thinking that they're, codependent?
Yeah.
They depend on somebody else, which is what they really do. They want to convince themselves that because they don't want to depend on somebody and then that guy leave and then them feel like they're alone. So girls try to convince themselves that they're independent when they're really codependent and they like to depend on somebody else. Every woman wants to depend on a guy. No guy wants to depend on a female.
Right.
So a lot of girls, the reason why a lot of relationships don't last with girls is because the guy is the one who always depends on the female and the female never depends on the man.
It doesn't work too well. Let's clarify that codependent. Now, we're not talking about dependent on someone to the form of the codependency, which is a type of illness, which means that if you're not, that person's not happy or doing what you want them to do, then you're upset or you're miserable. We're talking about interdependence where everybody really depends on everybody. No man is an island or no woman is an island. We all need each other. We need the people at McDonald's that serve burgers if you're going to eat that garbage. And I guess I shouldn't badmouth McDonald's, but stay away from fast food. And we need the people at the gas stations, the quick marts, the grocery stores. We all depend on each other. We all need each other to survive in this world. But what we're talking about here is the form of dependence on each other. And the man, of course, needs the woman, too, to take care of the home, if that's what she decides to do. And that seems to be something today, Paulina, that they really badmouth the woman, because I have a couple of women that are content creators, and they talk about how happy they are being a wife and a mother and taking care of their husband and maybe giving him a massage when he gets home and having his food cooked. And they talk about how they enjoy doing that for him and they gain satisfaction out of that. And it's like they get bashed by modern women for that.
I think a lot of guys get bashed for that because I'm not sure why they do that. I mean, I don't really bash.
The women get bashed.
Oh, the women get bashed. Yeah, a lot of women get bashed for that. I'm not sure why. Did you say it's because they say they love being a wife?
Yeah, they love being a wife and being home and taking care of the home and the husband and catering to him. And
I think why women get bashed for that is it's because like a lot of people out here want to be independent. Like a lot of women want to be like, you don't need a man to do this. You don't need a whatever. Like men and women need each other. I mean, without one another, like we wouldn't. It'd just be the end of the world. Basically,
we wouldn't exist, would we?
None of us would exist. I mean, everybody came from women, but that was also from the man. Also, like a woman can't have a baby without a man.
Exactly.
So it's like without one another, there's just no.
Well, now they say, I can get artificial insemination. But where does the sperm come from?
Exactly.
Oh, it comes from a man, doesn't it?
So there's no. If there was a medical procedure for women to get pregnant without men, I'm pretty sure we would know about it by now.
Yeah.
And there isn't. So we need men to, like, I guess, be alive, and men need women to be alive. Like, it's a repopulation. Like,
yeah, it's we have to work together. And actually, we were made, however you want it, by nature, God, the universe, divinity, whatever you want to call it. We were made to complement each other, to work together. And it seems like so much now that society and the narrative of at least the West is to push women away from men, and of course men away from women, and the women are so much into their masculine here, the majority, it seems like in the US, that some of the men are opting out of even dating, like and of course, and then a lot of women are saying, where are all the good men? Because these men are being raised by their mothers, because a lot of divorces, I think it's 80% now, is initiated by the woman, and they think they're going to be able to raise teenage boys by themselves. And what happens is, what I see is a lot of the boys without a masculine role in their life are growing up to be feminine. Now, they're not gay, but they have that feminine attributes, and that's not attractive to a feminine woman, is it?
No, I was talking to this guy a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and I was talking about how me and you were having a conversation in the car about how he was like, I don't understand why you do everything that your dad tells you to do. It's like, because there's been points in my life where I haven't done what he's told me to do and my life went downhill. When I actually listen to my dad, which is something that I don't like doing because I hate when I'm wrong about something. Like, a woman never wants to be wrong. A woman always has to be right. And I know that because in my last relationship, the reason why it went downhill is because I could never admit when I was wrong.
Yeah, insight.
I always wanted to be right, so I convinced myself that. So I would always gaslight that person, and then that turned into arguments, and then arguments went downhill. There was no communication. But now that's fixed. But I was talking to this guy.
What is gaslighting? So our subscribers can understand. Maybe someone doesn't really understand what that is.
So, like, as an example, say like you didn't say something. Like, say you didn't call me pretty.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, you did. No, like, you remember. And I'd give you like a random date, and I'd convince you to make you think that, and I'll get in your head. And it's kind of like a form of
you see, a woman gets in your head, guys.
It's kind of a form of manipulation.
Yeah.
So I would get in your head and be like, no, you did say that. And I would convince you until you actually thought, and you were like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I actually did say that.
So would you say that's a common thing girls do?
Oh, yeah.
This comes natural.
100%.
Yeah.
Some of it's intentional. Some of it is unintentional. I mean, I had accused you of having my social security number card.
Yeah, I remember.
And I actually thought in my head, there was some memory in my head that I'd walk past you and gave it to you. and I actually didn't. But I think maybe 98% of the time it's intentional.
Oh, you're like,
It's
they
not.
know what they're doing.
They definitely do.
Let me ask you this. Would you say that a woman's idea of honesty and a man's idea of honesty are two different things?
Oh, yeah, completely.
And then with that being said, what happens with us men sometimes is we treat women the way we want to be treated, and we think of women the same way we think, and it just doesn't work very well, does it?
No, it doesn't. But back to what I was saying, the guy that I was talking to, he was like, why do you listen to your dad so much? And I explained to him why. And he was like, oh, well, I can't understand that. And I was like, why not? And then he was like, because I don't have that. A lot of the guys out here don't have a male role model. And I feel bad for them because they don't have a male to teach them how to do certain things. Like a lot of the guys that I know work at like McDonald's or Crumbly Burger or something like that because they can't find a job to do construction or something because their moms taught them, oh, take the easy way. Yeah. Like they want to take the easy way because that's what their mom has raised them to think, because without a man around the house, there's no hard work. You're not doing anything hard work-wise.
Yeah, well, you've seen firsthand with us here, because we don't have a woman here. There's been no woman, no mother involved in your life for the last really 11 or 12 years. So you've seen firsthand how you've seen them stand up to me more than once. And there's no way that they would, how would I say, bow down or say submit to a woman. You've seen what I had to do to keep things in order around here, because they'll gang up on me. Yeah. I think 4 of them ganged up on me once, tried to take the house over. Yeah,
they were like, okay, we'll just leave. But I mean, I think it's good to have a male role model in the house, because I see you make Kevin work for his football. Yeah. I mean, everything around here is like you don't just get it for free. You don't get stuff handed to you. You have to work for you earn everything you get in the house. You don't just get everything handed to you because you grow up to be snotty.
I mean, you grow up to be entitled. And that's another problem we have in the U.S. today, is so many young people think they're entitled to this or that, I guess because they've been given so much. What, they get to be 13, 14, they're given a new iPhone, and I mean, it's just incredible.
I mean, a lot of the people at my school are usually like, oh, I work for everything I get. No, you don't work for it. Your mom works for it. Your mom works for it. She just makes you do chores around the house so you can earn it. It's not like...
It's funny you said your mom. Now, you're talking about the girls or the guys?
Both. Because a lot of the guys that I know, everything that I get is just from maybe taking out the trash or cleaning the kitchen. I mean, I do that, but it's different because they clean up after maybe 2 people. I clean up after you and the rest of the guys. That's what, 6 people in the house that I'm cleaning up after, including myself. And I don't make half the mess that's in the kitchen. It's usually all you guys. But there's a lot of people out here, girls or guys, that are very snotty because they get what they want, because they just do. I don't know. They don't work for it. There's kids out here who get cars for their birthdays. I'm talking like, they're those kids you see on like TikToks where it's like, this isn't the car I wanted. I wanted this car and you got me this car. It's like, I wanted a Ferrari, you got me a Lamborghini. Something like that. That's literally how all the kids in Troy are, or most of the kids, the rich kids in Troy. A lot of people like to bash people for that, like girls who are around here acting snotty or guys who are. Mainly because of the fact that the kids who bash the rich kids are the kids who earn their stuff, the kids who don't have much stuff. And like, I mean, wealth is a big thing. It's not all about money. It's about you being healthy. It's about all this other stuff. Like, these kids think they're super wealthy because they have the iPhone 13 and because they have...
I don't have the iPhone 13.
They have the iPhone...
Why don't I have it?
They have the iPhone 13. Their mom got them a car for their birthday. They can't even drive yet. They think that's wealth. Yeah. Wealth isn't just about money. It's not all about money. And we're middle class, maybe, like, I don't know what we are, but I mean, everything. I don't just get everything handed to me. I mean, I work for everything that you've ever given me. My phone that you gave me for my birthday, I worked for that. I worked for a while to get that phone, and a lot of people are like, you shouldn't work for birthday presents and you shouldn't work for this. And it's like, but I don't want everything handed to me. It's like, when I want to have kids, I don't want my kids to be one of those rich kids. I want my kid to work for the stuff that they're like, that they have. And a lot of kids out here don't do that. And a lot of kids who don't have male role models in their house, they work at McDonald's or Burger King. I get that as a first job, but find a job where you're actually doing something like construction or painting like you guys do, or doing something else. I mean, some kids have jobs like that. Work on cars, do something. Like maybe if you can't even work yet, you're not old enough, go mow people's lawns for money. Go ask around. Go do something. A lot of kids just lay around and play video games.
Yeah.
And that's why the kids that I've been with, they don't last with me, because I have my standards set high for a guy, as I should, because I'm a pretty girl, and I know looks doesn't get you as far. It doesn't really get you far at all, but I have a good personality.
Well, that's what most girls think it is now. It's all about looks.
Yeah, a lot of girls think that looks gets you wherever, because you can cheat on a guy a million times, but if you're pretty enough, you can get by with it.
Yeah, nowadays.
There's a lot of girls out here who
because it's Simpville City.
Oh yeah,
in the US.
A lot of girls out here, they cheat on their boyfriends all the time. There's literally videos of them cheating. Like it's her making out with another guy at a party, and the guy's like, "Oh well, she was just drunk. She knew what she was doing." Yeah. She'll talk to all her friends about it, be like, "Oh my god, that was so fun."
See, that's something back in my day that wouldn't have slid.
Oh yeah,
wouldn't tolerate it.
And now it slides.
And if he would have put up with it, his friends would have hounded him so bad he would have had to break up with her.
Yeah, I know, and
he wouldn't have any friends.
And the guys usually hound the guy. The guys usually hound the guy that has the girlfriend that did that, if they're single. But if they have a girlfriend, they won't do it because they're simping for their girlfriend. And usually, if two guys are best friends, those two girls are best friends. So they can go out and cheat on both of those guys, and they'll both forgive her, because they'll both forgive them because they're simping. They don't want to lose them because they're the prettiest girl that they've ever had.
Didn't I hear you guys talk about one time about you had, I don't know if it was a guy that liked you. He was a guy that was here, wasn't he? Said he wanted to be a simp, or he was simping, or was that one of Frank's buddies or something? Don't mention any names.
I won't.
Wasn't there somebody?
I think I know.
It was simping, and he actually professed he was simping, and he wanted to simp. I don't know.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You can say the name. I can mute it real quick.
No, I don't know what his name. I'm not sure if I know. I thought it was one of your buddies.
Mute it really quick.
Keep it going.
Anyway, so yeah, I know what you're talking about. There has been guys like that just admit that they're simping. I mean,
but doesn't that turn a girl off?
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't like it at all.
There's no attraction there, is there?
No,
no matter how nice or whatever they buy you or whatever they do for you.
Half the time I feel bad for the guy. Not bad enough to where I want to stay with him. Right. I mean, there's the guy that I had recently just.
You're not going to give him a sympathy.
No, the last guy that I had just recently been with before I'm back into my other relationship now. He was a complete and total simp, and he had admitted to it. He was like, "I love you, like I need you in my life." I knew him for 3 months. We weren't even dating. We were just talking. And I told him, like, I want to take everything slow. He was he seemed very bipolar to me, because one minute he'd be like, "Oh my goodness, I love you so much, like I need you in my life." And the next he'd be like, "Oh, I hate you." Like, and that's an emotional roller coaster, not only for the guy, but it is for the girl. Like, you're putting a whole bunch of weight on the girl's shoulder that she just doesn't need. So, like, after I had got done talking to him and I blocked him on everything, he had continued to talk to me. He would continue to text me on stuff. And then finally, when that was over and he stopped obsessing over me, because I had to have one of my friends go act like she liked him. So he would leave me alone.
Right.
And I know that sounds bad, but when I tell you he wouldn't leave me alone, he's the type to email me if I blocked him on everything.
Yeah.
If I blocked his number, if I blocked any of his social media, he'd email me. So I had one of my friends act like she liked him, and now he's like completely over me. He doesn't like talking to me, which is good because I don't want to talk to him either. But as soon as we had got done like talking and being with each other, or having the same, like being in the same presence, it was like this big weight got lifted off me. And if I'm being honest, that stuff is kind of draining. Like, you're draining a female by telling her how much you love her, and if she leaves, you're gonna off yourself. You're gonna like, it's a really big deal. And I think a lot of guys don't realize that. They're just kind of focused on themselves in the moment. Usually that's something that a girl would do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
back in my day. That's what girls.
Yeah, it's not something that a guy would do. And I mean, either way, it's bad. But for a guy to do it, it's completely different, because some guys are actually reckless, and they'll like try to fake something, and then something actually happens, and then it's like if you go tell a female that you're going to off yourself after you guys are done being together, that weight is on her. And it's like, oh my God, what if something actually happens
Well,
to
they're
him?
doing that hoping that she'll take him back.
Yeah. And then it's like,
And the opposite is true. When he does that, it's like she doesn't want anything to do with it, even more so than she did to start with.
yeah, it's like a constant thinking in a girl's head. And girls overthink more than, I think girls overthink more than, or used to overthink more than guys do. Because now it's like a lot of guys are very insecure.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like, oh, he's insecure because he doesn't want me to talk to this person. No, they're insecure as, oh, I'm scared you're going to leave me for this guy. Oh, why are you even with me? He's so much cuter than me. It's like, I know
they
this.
say things like that.
Yeah,
too.
all the time. They say things like, just go be with your ex. I'm not good for you. Like, I'm not good enough. Like, I'm ugly. Like, I'm just so ugly. It's called a pick-me guy.
Really?
That's what they're called.
Really?
It's like my biggest ick. Have you ever heard of an ick?
No.
It's like a ew, gross, get away from me. So an ick is like, oh, it makes me sick. Ick. So it's like, I have a lot of icks. It's like emojis, simps, guys who put me on a pedestal. I do not want a guy to put me on a pedestal. I do not like being praised.
You hear that, guys? Girls do not want to be the number one thing in your life, contrary to what the movies, TV, Disney tells you.
I don't want to be a pedestal. I don't want to be put on a pedestal because it's like I'm a priority. And if I'm a priority, it's like, also, I'm 15. I'm starting to get into like working, and I have school, and I don't want to have to worry about constantly reassuring a guy who is scared.
You don't want to be his mommy.
No, I don't. I don't want to have to reassure a guy because he thinks he's not good enough for me. Which if you're telling yourself that, then yeah, you're not.
Right.
You're not good enough for me. I have my standards set super high because of the fact that I've been through so many relationships, and they've all been failed relationships, clearly. And it's not like...
Why do you think they failed?
I think it's because of the fact that I've always been put on a pedestal. And don't get me wrong, like, sometimes it's nice.
It's nice for a while.
It's nice for a while. Like, it's also nice to know that a lot of guys would do that, just put me above everybody else. But then it gets tiring because if you want to leave or if you want to make a certain decision, they're like, oh my God, why would you do that?
Or if you just want some time to yourself and you don't want to talk to him for a day or two. Because
They
women
freak
always
out.
pull away. You guys need to remember that when you're in a relationship, a steady relationship, and you guys are talking 2-3 times a week, maybe you're seeing each other every weekend, she is going to pull away at some time or another. And what you do during that time is going to determine whether the relationship continues or not. If you start freaking out and text her, oh, what's wrong? Are you all right? That's going to screw things up because it shows your insecurity.
Yeah, I've had to reassure a lot of guys in my past relationships, which isn't... It's not the best feeling because, first of all, I've never had to reassure anybody, so I don't know how to do it.
It's like being a mom.
Yeah, so it sucks because, first of all, I don't know how to do it because I haven't had to do it my whole life.
Yeah.
It's not something that I've had to do. I mean, I've reassured my little brother, but that's maybe because one of the older guys maybe like slapped him across the face because he had mouthed off. I've reassured my little brother, but relationship-wise, I've never had to do that. And
nor should you really.
Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't have to do that.
I mean, maybe if the guy's mom died and he was upset, you might pat him on the back.
Oh,
or give him
yeah.
a hug and say it's going to be okay or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, and then there's like another like way to what is the word? How can I say this? It's a test. I guess I'll say poop test because...
Or shit test?
Yeah,
the shit test.
Well, a way to do that is by telling a guy, oh, can I go hang out with this guy that I just met at this party? And if the guy's like, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that's like, well, I mean, I guess, like, if you want, but, like, I don't, like...
What would make you attracted to if you said, hey, I want to go hang out with this guy at the party, what is going to attract you more? What response from that guy that you just told that is going to make you want to be with him and not go hang out with the guy at a party?
I think there's a couple. There's one where it would be like, okay, then I'm going to go hang out with this girl. Because it's the same thing. If you are dating someone, you shouldn't have a guy best friend. Because what's the reason? From my experience, all guys, you can't have a guy and it be your best friend. I mean, you can have guy friends, like maybe talk to them once, maybe like once in a while. But if you have a guy best friend you're talking to all the time, they're going to think you're interested in a way.
Right.
And the minute that you break up with your boyfriend and he breaks up with you, the guy's waiting. He's waiting to comfort you and then end up being with you. I used to think that you could be friends with guys and they wouldn't want to have sex or anything with you. But then it got to the point where I was in a 1-year relationship and everybody was so, like, everybody would make up rumors about me and talk crap about me because they were mad that I was with somebody.
Yeah, your girlfriends will actually try to ruin your relationship.
Oh, they'll sabotage it.
That's something else, guys.
If they're not happy, then they'll go out of their way to make sure I'm not happy either because they don't want to be the only single one.
Right.
They do that. A lot of girls do. I've done it before.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of the things that I talk about now. It may sound hypocritical, but
no, it's just insight that you get.
Yeah,
you're very insightful.
I've done it. I've done that. I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff that I have a point of view from. So when someone's like, no, you don't understand, it's like, I do though, because I've done it. And I hate to admit to half the stuff that I've done, but it's the only way to give advice. If someone's in a bad situation and I've done it before, the only good way to give advice is to tell them that I actually understand because I've been in the same situation.
You share your experience.
Yeah, and it's not like, oh, I'm trying to compare mine to yours. I'm just trying to tell you that I relate to what you're also talking about. So, but like a lot of the guys, it took me a while to learn that I was in a 1-year relationship and a lot of guys would talk bad about me. Like half the football team would talk bad about me. And then I'd get out of the relationship. All of them would text me. They'd want to be with me. So I got back together with the guy that I'm with
we
now.
Need some sound effects over there.
I got back together with the guy that I'm with now, and because we were together for a year, and I had told him about all these guys.
Is he sleeping over there? What's he doing? Are you awake?
Yeah, he is. Okay, so I was talking to the guy that I'm with now, and I told him about all the guys that had hit me up after me and him had broken up. And he was like, they all talk so badly about you on the team at weights or at practice or something. And it's half the guys that are out here begging me to come over to their house and sleep with them.
Yeah.
Like actually like sleep with them. And I'm like, I'm good. That lowers a woman's value. Going out and sleeping with a whole bunch of men lowers your value so much. And I think very highly of myself.
Your value in men's eyes and, of course, your value to yourself. Yeah. Now, and with that being said, I was thinking earlier, tell me, how many girls do you know? You're 15. How many girls do you know around your age, 14, 15, 16, that have double-digit body counts?
I think about all of them besides maybe 2 or 3.
Right. So that's the norm.
Oh yeah, it's definitely normal, especially around my age, because hormonal stuff and puberty and whatever. And then after that, a lot of girls like to claim. Can I say that word? Rape?
Yeah. I think you can say it.
Okay.
A lot of girls won't say it again, but
a lot of girls claim that on guys because they regret it afterwards. Yeah. Never because it's actually true, but because they regret it. They're like, oh my God.
What do they call that? Regret sex or something like that.
A lot of girls regret it. They're like, oh my God, I wish I didn't do that. I'm going to tell everybody I was blackout drunk or something.
Really? You've heard them say that?
Oh yeah, I have. I was friends with this one girl and she had claimed it on the guy that she had sex with because she realized how nasty he was and how much he was really ugly and how many girls he had slept with.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm just going to tell everybody that he had R-word me.
Oh,
and
what could we use for that? Because I don't know if you could say.
You could say sexually assaulted or S.A.
S.A. So S.A. Okay, so he S.A.'d me.
Yeah, so basically she was like, oh, I'm just going to go tell everybody he S.A.'d me. Like, I'm just going to go say it because he's gross and everybody will believe me because she's a girl.
Don't these girls ever think about the repercussions for the guy, or they just
they don't care.
They don't care. That's what you guys need to remember. These girls don't care if they don't have an interest in you. When it comes down to something like that, they don't care.
Mm-mm. And then there was this other
reputation.
girl.
A girl's reputation is one of the most important things she has.
And then this one girl that I used to be friends with, I'm not friends with her anymore because she's a big troublemaker, and I'm backed away from all that drama and stuff. But
is that the one that used to come here and? Clean.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Damn good job.
The other one that I was friends with, though, she had claimed rape on sexual assault on the same guy, and went TikTok viral because of it. She was famous because of it.
These guys get in trouble?
He got in trouble. He went to juvie.
Oh, he did.
And then,
and he didn't, but she was just with him.
Okay, so what had happened was she had claimed it. He had went to juvie for about a year and a half, or actually
juvenile hall.
Actually,
juvenile kids jail.
Actually, for a long. Actually, he was in there for a couple of years, off and on, maybe 5 years.
Really.
And turned out to be a lie. She had lied about it.
So they found out it was a lie.
They found out it was a lie.
So he was cleared.
So he got cleared.
But yet he spent how much time in juvenile jail?
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
then they found out it was fake, and for some reason they let her slide.
Yeah, what
She
were the
was
repercussions for
so
her?
nothing.
Nothing.
She was drunk.
That's another
And
problem.
she was drunk, and he had sexually assaulted her, quote unquote. But it wasn't real. She was just drunk, and she had regretted it because she had a boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
She was dating somebody else, and she wanted to stay with him. So she had told him, "Oh, he SA'd me. Like I promised. Can we please stay together?"
Yeah.
So then he was like, so I guess the boyfriend was like, "I don't believe you." So she went to the hospital. She got a kit test on her. It was all a lie. She basically did that to stay with the boyfriend at the time because she didn't want to lose him because she had sex with somebody else.
Yeah.
And she wanted to stay with her boyfriend. But it's like a lot of girls out here claim things that aren't true.
Yeah.
I know a lot of girls who have done that multiple times.
Well, let's stop there and talk about that for a minute. Why women and girls do that? One of the reasons is, in case you guys don't understand, is because for thousands of years, women had no power other than the power of manipulation and persuasion. So this is what they use instead of brute strength. Now, a guy, if two men have a problem, or used to be anyway, two men have a problem, there's always that threat of physical violence, and they'll settle it that way. But with a woman, she has no power when it comes to physical violence. Most men can knock the hell out of a woman the same size.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is something that they've been programmed and they've learned through the. It's more or less an evolutionary program that they have inside them to get their way and get what they want, because it's the only way they've ever had for thousands of years. And they still are using it along with the laws that they've made for women now to protect them, of course. But like everything, the law is neither good nor bad. It's the way it's used.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm not 100% why girls do that. I mean, a lot of girls regret things, but like I've kissed a guy and I've regretted it. But I didn't go around and be like, "Oh, he forced me to kiss him. He grabbed me and forced me to kiss him." When there were plenty of people around who would have seen it if he had done that. I just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
If people go around, they're like, "Oh my God, you kissed this guy, blah, blah, blah." I'll just be like, "Okay, like, cool." Like,
but even in school, probably if it comes down between the word of a girl or a boy, they take the girl's word. Is that correct or not?
It depends if the girl's liked or not. I know a lot of girls who've actually been SA'd and guys don't believe them because they don't like her. So they claim her as a liar.
Well, I was talking more about the principals and the teachers and stuff like that.
When it's the principals, it's the girl's word against the guys.
Probably the girl's world too. You could
say it's definitely against it's the girls against the guys because, well, first of all, we have one guy principal.
Yeah.
And then almost every other teacher in our school besides maybe two, women.
Yeah.
They're all women. So it's like there's kind of no winning for the guy in that situation. Yeah. But if it's the students, it depends if the student likes the person who's claiming that or not.
Right.
But well, yeah.
Okay. What advice would you have for girls and ladies to keep a man around? If they really like a man, how would you treat a man that you really wanted to stay around?
I mean, don't treat him less than he is. I mean, don't take him for granted if he's taking care of you. If he's taking care of you, making sure you're fine, making sure, like, especially if you're older and you have a man and you're clean for him or do something for him when he gets home from work. Like, have dinner ready for him. Like, I have dinner ready for you guys sometimes when you get home from work if I'm awake. But I have dinner ready for you guys if I'm awake, or I'll make something, or I'll clean the kitchen or something like that. Like, just if he's taking care of you, do the same back. If he's going out and working, it's still the same thing. Like, you're staying home and you're cleaning. If you keep the house clean, it shouldn't be much work, especially if it's just you and the guy. If it's you and the kids, take care of the kids, wait for the dad to get home, make sure the house is clean. Just, if he's taking care of you, don't take it for granted, because you're not going to find another guy like that. If you have a good guy who's taking care of you and takes lead in a relationship, don't take that for granted, because you will not find something like that again.
Well, tell me this too. A lot of girls wouldn't post their boyfriend on social media, but they'll post provocative photos on there.
Yeah. It's kind of entertainment for them.
For a man, that's considered disrespect.
It is.
They may post a photo of them and some famous rock star, but they won't post their boyfriend or husband on there.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that a lot. I've seen guys Instagram has been filled with his girlfriend because the girlfriend makes him do that. But then when it comes to her Instagram, there's
Really?
nothing of him on there. Maybe one picture if he's lucky.
Yeah. Men want to be respected. They don't
Yeah.
care if they're loved. They want to be respected. But you cannot have love unless there's respect first.
Yeah, and then another thing too is like the girl wouldn't like the girl won't okay. The girl likes the guy's comment. Like if she's dating someone, he goes and comments on her post like hard eyes. He just looks like the rest of them.
Yeah, exactly.
He just looks like every single one of the rest of them. So it's like, oh, so she's single. Like she's just there's no guy on here.
So with that being said, how would a guy? Let's say he's a girl on Instagram, but he's not actually around where he could talk to her in person the first time. So he wants to somehow get her attention with a DM on Instagram. What would you recommend something? Because you girls get hundreds of messages from all these simps. What could he say or do that would make you notice him out of all the other guys?
I think, well, we've talked about this a couple times before. What I usually go for is when something little about me stands out to them. Not just like, oh, you're cute. What about me is cute? If you point out something direct, like the guy that I'm with, the reason why he caught my eye is because he was like complimenting my eyes, my eye color. He would compliment my eyelashes. And to me, that's a big deal because I've never had confidence with my eyes because they're just brown. I see them as brown. So like another guy will see them completely differently. Like you may just see your eyes as blue. I see them as like ocean blue or something like super pretty.
Blue
if
to me.
If a guy compliments my eyes, that's what stands out to me. But if you compliment something little about them, it'll stand out to them. Because if you're just like everybody else, being like, oh, you're cute, oh, you're pretty, oh, why, like, your outfit's cute, that's boring. Like, compliment her hair, or compliment her eyes, or her eyelashes, or her lips, or her smile. Like, if you just compliment something little about her, then it'll stand out to her.
Yeah. Well, let me throw this one up there. Okay. I'm a guy, and you and I have been talking, and we've gotten together once or twice before. And I'm going to go somewhere exciting tomorrow. Okay. And I tell you, I say, hey, are you game? You want to go? And you say, yeah, I'll go. I said, okay, well, I'll set up I'll plan it for us. And I need to talk to you later on this evening, about 8 o'clock. So make sure you're available. Okay. This is all done by text. Okay. 8 o'clock comes and I send you a message, and I told you to be available between 8 and 9. I send you a message and you don't respond. So I call you and the phone rings. I hear it ring twice and then it quits. And then I hear it ring. I call you again and I normally don't call you, but I call you again and it rings once. And then I call you again. And I don't know if it doesn't ring or it rings just a partial time. And so I needed you to be there because I had to make an arrangements and I had to have information from you. So why didn't you answer the phone?
Because I don't know.
You want to go.
I think a lot of girls do that because, like, if, say, you were going somewhere cool, maybe, I'm not sure. A lot of girls that I know will flake on a guy just because. Or they're scared. Or they'll say they're going to do something.
No, but in this case, the person's going to go. You're going to go. You want to go. But for something, why didn't you answer the phone? Why didn't you want to talk to him?
Because maybe I thought you would buy the plane ticket and then I'd just have it by myself or something. I mean, I don't know a lot of girls that do that. A lot of girls just flake. They say they want to go somewhere and then they don't actually. Well,
here's what a man takes it as: disrespecting his time.
Oh, yeah. It is disrespecting.
Because he needed to make arrangements. He set that time up. And any man worth his value is going to take that as disrespect, and he's going to act accordingly and put that girl on ice.
Well, as you should, because that is disrespectful for a female to do that. I have done that before. I've told a guy I wanted to go somewhere, and then I didn't answer his calls when he called me. But
you changed your mind, didn't want to go, or no?
I wanted to go, just not with that person. Like, I wanted to go there, I just didn't want to go with him. If somebody else had asked me, then I would have gone. But since it's him, I don't want to go.
So really what that says, and I take this the same way as you do, is that this person's, your respect level and your interest level is not high enough in this person that you wouldn't be willing to take the chance to screw up the whole thing by not answering the phone.
Yeah.
you think you're going to be able to get away with it, and this guy's going to do whatever you want him to, and so you'll contact him or talk to him whenever you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of girls are very stuck up about themselves.
Well, and they can be because there's so many simps out there just standing in line that they believe everybody's just going to tolerate that crap.
Yeah.
But really, a man worth his value is not going to put up with that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
He's going to go on to the next, because a man that has options, he's got other girls that's just waiting to go somewhere with him, or they're waiting to go out with him. So
yeah.
that's what you think, huh? Okay. Well, now tell me this. What do you think about the way young people dress these days?
Being a part of that, because
Yeah.
I do dress sloppy a lot of the time. I think it's
And why is that? Because you want to be like everybody else?
no, because I'm lazy.
Ah,
It's because I don't want to get dressed. I mean, sometimes I just don't feel like it. I'm learning how to now.
yeah, I've been after you about that.
Yeah, I'm getting there, but I don't like the way people dress. I mean, people will wear shorts that literally say "juicy" on the back, and they'll have a tramp stamp on their back with a crop top on. And they think it
Girls
looks
your
cute.
age have tattoos?
Oh yeah, a lot of them do.
Ah,
A lot of their parents let them because they'll tell their parents it's meaningful, and it actually doesn't mean anything. It's like literally a sun on their arm. What does that mean? It means literally nothing. A lot of the girls that I do know have tattoos. I mean, there's this one girl who's got tattoos all over her, and she's younger than me.
Really?
Yeah, she's got tattoos literally on her chest, on her stomach, on her legs. They're everywhere.
Man.
So it's actually, and they're all like crooked and stuff because she got them from an unprofessional.
And I have nothing against tattoos. I don't particularly like them on women. A lot of guys like them. I have one of my good friends is a tattoo artist, and he does a great job. He's a great guy and great business. It's just not my cup of tea, but I really believe that when you're that young, you really can't make decisions that are going to affect you. That's permanent. It's going to be there the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, and then they're going to grow up and realize that it was stupid.
Well, or that maybe they wish they could get rid of them or put something different on there. And sometimes I guess they can tattoo
There's
over
there's
stuff.
a laser removal thing, but that leaves a scar on your arm. So even if you try to get rid of it, there's still a scar there. And a lot of people tattoo over their stuff, but sometimes people get tattoos now that won't be able to be covered up later on. If it wants to be covered up, you might as well just have your arm black.
So these girls are doing their parents, is their father in the home, or do you know?
A lot of them aren't. A lot of their parents aren't in the house or anything like that.
So that's what they say. Fathers keep their daughters off of stripper poles and their boys out of jail.
Yeah. A lot of them don't have a dad. A lot of them don't have a male role model. And I'm glad I do, because if I didn't, I'd probably be out doing.
I'd be like the rest of them.
Yeah, out doing whatever I'm doing. Like if I was just raised by my mom, which I'm glad I'm not just raised by my mom. I mean, it'd be nice to have a mom around, but then I really think about it, and it's like maybe it'd be fun to get away with a couple of things if it was just my mom. But if you earn your parents' respect, then you'd be able to, go out and do more than what you do now. Like you used to be super strict until I started doing more stuff, and I kind of.
Well, that's because I trust you.
Yeah, and then I kind of earned your trust there, and now
Yeah, and that's something guys need to learn too. Is a girl needs to earn your respect, and your guys sometimes are just too quick to give away their emotions. They meet a girl, she's pretty. Oh, I really love you. What can I do for you? Let's go out, and they buy them this or do this or do that, and that just breeds disrespect also. So
yeah.
Well, what time? Where are we at?
43 minutes.
43 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up. Got some fire stuff here for you guys. Need to listen to this over and over again so you can find out what women really want, not just what they say they want, but what they really want. Because she's got a good insight on it. She's been around us boys, and she's dated a lot of young guys. Not slept with them, but dated them. There's a difference there. So take that and use that. Hope that helps you. And we're going to wrap it up tonight. See you next Saturday.